Hawksbee, Charlie Baker here on talkSPORT. We're going to have a chat with Steve Harmison very shortly. He's caught up with his old friend and teammate Andrew Flintoff today. Let's play you the first clip, then we'll have a chat with Harmy about it. We're looking back on England's Ashes tour to Australia in 06-07, where he took the armband.
The captaincy in Australia, I openly admit that I let you down. You're my best mate. And I just didn't perform. I couldn't perform. I just didn't know. These things happen. But if I was looking back at sort of regrets in my time, which I don't look too many, one big one was the fact that when my best mate needed me, I wasn't there for him. No, and it was a tough time for you.
Yeah, I wouldn't have a regret about that. By no stretch of the imagination. Going into that series, I wasn't quite fit. I'd taken the captaincy on. My best batter had gone home, Trez. Mm-hmm. He should have been captain really, but he was having his own struggles. Mm-hmm. And then there was you. Mm-hmm. And then I look back at that, and that first ball, and we have a joke about it. I have one regret actually. I should have bowled it because I knew that you weren't right walking out there. But looking back at it, you're the only player I really managed to keep picking. Mm-hmm. The only one I dug my heels in on for a couple of reasons. Actually, I still felt even you at that point was better than the other options.
Yeah, we didn't have many options.
I also know, irrespective of how you're going to bowl, I'm going to get everything. I know you care, I know you're passionate, and I want to walk out with you every time, and we'll figure the bowling out. And also thought, actually, from a more personal point of view, after that first game, I'm not dropping you.
Yeah.
Because that'll kill you. Whether it's for the team, just for you. And I put my relationship with you above that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was also so confident that you'd turn it around.
Yeah.
And you'd come good, just given time.
That's Steve Harmison chatting to Andrew Flintoff earlier on today. Harm, is that a conversation you guys had before? Is that the first time you really addressed that?
We addressed it. There was no apology needed. And it wasn't through lack of sort of professionalism or anything like that. I mean, I was injured going into the 06-07 Ashes. I missed the warm-up game. I literally pulled out of the warm-up game in Adelaide 10 minutes before the toss. And it wasn't if it's in the modern day, which is like you play 14 man, then all of a sudden it wouldn't have been a problem because I'd have been drip-fed into the game.
Yeah.
But 10 minutes before a warm-up game, going into an Ashes series, and your side's a bit sore, the caution was not to play in the game.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I've now bowled a handful of overs going into Brisbane with 40,000 people there. I wasn't right. No excuse. I didn't perform. But it showed when we were talking there, going through the rest of the series. I always make the joke. It got better as it went on because it couldn't get any worse. But. It did get better, but it just shows you, even to this day, you look at somewhere like, Stuart Broad needed overs, Jimmy Anderson possibly didn't need as many overs. Mark Wood can just turn it on like that, where Jofra Archer can turn it on like that and go through. Simon Jones could turn it on in a blink of an eye. It took Hoggard maybe a week to get prepared. It took me 2 weeks to get prepared. So we argue with the preparation. So I wasn't quite right when I was it was a nice conversation I've just had with him. And we hadn't touched that subject before because it was a little bit of a, let's not go there, we got beat 5-0. I mean, it was a disastrous trip. But it wasn't because he was captain. It wasn't because I bowled the first ball, second slip. It's just they were so much better than what we were. And we were nowhere near. Vaughan was missing. Trescothick went home in the build-up. Lost Simon Jones. So all of a sudden, that 2005 great Ashes side that was together for possibly 18 months was going against one of the greatest teams of all time. And let's be fair, I'm not going to say any names, but there was players playing on that trip whose confidence levels weren't as high.
Yeah.
And, only played a handful of times for England. It was a huge baptism to go in, and unfortunately, Andrew had to lead it.
His new book is out, Coming Home, today, sort of looking back on his life and times. I mean, we'll play another clip shortly, but I mean, he's an old mate of yours, of long stand. How is he at the moment? I mean, the recent TV series again has been absolutely brilliant. He's been doing a bit of coaching, and we'll come on to that in a minute. But how is he?
He looks $1 million. He's not answering his texts anymore, so that's a good thing.
It's a good sign.
It's a good sign. It's a good sign. You know, we talked about it in the hour, and what I wanted to get out of it, I think it comes out on Monday. What I wanted to get out of having that conversation with him for an hour was two friends who have been through a hell of a lot. Mm. The cricket section of that book I probably could have wrote because I was with him for most of it. Mm-hmm. And to talk to somebody who, behind the closed doors, when the lights are off, I mean, the joke, when we went in, there was 2 seats right close together. And the guys were from the cameras and they were like, oh, it's a little bit close and a little bit intimate. I said, we've slept in the same bed so many times. It's ridiculous. You know, we weren't bothered about that. So we've been through, you've gone through a hell of a lot with, and then when he went through the ordeal of the crash, it was heartbreaking to see what he went through. And you know, when I joke, you're getting text messages straight back off him. That's a concern. When he answers you within 5 minutes, it's a concern. It's like when he answers you get an answer 3 weeks later, you know he's in a great place because he's got things on and he's aware. But he came through the other side, and Rob Key's been massive for him. When Keysy got him into the England stuff, he talks about it in the show with me that when he came out of his house for the first time, got into the England bubble, got on the England team bus, Johnny Bairstow talking to him.
That. Yeah.
And it's brilliant. He touches on it. It's fascinating what he says. Walking into a dressing room where he should have been the man with the aura of, you know, a great all-rounder from 2005. And that helped him sort of rebuild off the back of what was a terrible 12 months. And the one thing I will always say about Andrew Flintoff, since the moment I met him, you know, in 1996, there might be this larger-than-life character. There is this great big TV personality. And what I wanted to try and get was, I think there's only me, Susan and Rachel, his mum and his wife, that ever and Bumble call him Andrew. I wanted to speak to Andrew, and I think we got that. And I think, you know, the difference between the Andrew and the Freddie, the Andrew has always been cricket obsessed, loves the game, and his knowledge of the game is unbelievable. And I think that's shown not only in the Field of Dreams, but also with a mentor and a coach to the young Lions players. I think he's on the path of whether he wants to be England coach, I don't think so, but I think he's doing a brilliant job with the Lions.
He did. Let's play another clip. As we said, the interview is going to be out on Monday on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. You can watch the full hour. But you were chatting about his future and what he's likely to do.
I think what I've done in the past is get guilty of looking too far forward. Yeah. So in TV, it was like, I've done some shocking stuff. But then it's like, oh, Cannonball, you watched that one?
Yeah.
Malta, jeez. Carnage, Jesus.
Some of the stuff was on just in Australia.
Well, this is like with McKeezy, because he just lists all my terrible programmes and gets my kids to do it. But I was always guilty of thinking, what's the next job, chasing something. Well, now, I'm just like, I'm doing this now.
Yeah, enjoying it.
And I'm happy. My focus is Lions.
Yeah.
And I'm loving doing that. And I don't see that as a stepping stone or leading to anywhere else. I feel at the minute that is
all you want to do.
That's what I want to do, and I feel that I can offer something. And I think the results we're getting so far are going well, so I'm enjoying that. You know, it's about today, and Superchargers, that's finished, which is fine. Firmly at the minute, cricket is the one thing that I'm loving, I'm enjoying.
Yeah.
And yeah, the TV, I'd do the odd thing.
Yeah.
I don't doubt for a minute he could coach the team, the first team. But he seems to have this fantastic ability to work with younger players, doesn't he? We've seen it in Field of Dreams, and we've seen it around his work with the Lions. And maybe he's sort of found his niche. He sounds like he's really enjoying it.
He is, and I think that's where it's important to put into context your pathway and your journey as a professional sportsman or woman comes through the ages. You go through the sort of growing up, loving the game, getting into sort of boys' clubs, academies, you know, and then going through the cycle. And sometimes you get stifled in the middle bit where, you know, you start getting a sort of a schoolmaster preacher telling you the do's and don'ts about what it's going to be like, and they frighten you, if anything. And I think, along with Graham Swan, you know, Neil Colleen, Andrew Flintoff taking the Lions trip and educating kids between 17 and 23 about your next step is England and what it is going to be like in England. And I think because he's gone through everything, You know, he's had the most highs, ridiculous lows, you know, the captaincy and everything that goes with it. I think because of all that, I don't think there's any better person, education-wise, to do it. Then you throw in the personality. Well, you know, larger-than-life 6'4" character who has got so much empathy with, you know, young people, and you see with the Field of Dreams and everything that goes with that. I think that is probably the best job for him, because what it'll do is he'll be tough on them. Don't get me wrong. If somebody steps out of line, he'll give them a talking to and a firm word. He got taught like that, but I think because of that, I think he's got all the attributes to that big bridge building between how I become a good cricketer to how I understand where I am going to be a great cricketer. And the great cricketer is, if you play international cricket, you're on the path. You're on that path. Yeah. And I think him, along with Swanee, because Swanee's barking as well. I was with Swanee last night, and he's mad. Yeah. And you're going, how on earth does this dressing room come together? But because of that aura that he's got, I think any young player going in must really enjoy working with the two or three of them.
It goes out on Monday. Cricket YouTube channel here on talkSPORT. Should be a fascinating chat, the full hour with Steve Harmison and Andrew Flintoff. Just before we let you go, news emerging today from Oz that Pat Cummins is probably a lot worse than everybody felt, and he may not just miss the first test. He could well miss the series. And I saw Michael Atherton saying, on one level, we all want to see the best players in a series, but injuries happen. You talked about some of the players that weren't there in 06, 07. That's part and parcel of life, and so we have to look upon that and think it's good from an England point.
From an England point, it's good. It is good. I love Pat Cummins. I think he's one of my favourite cricketers in the last sort of 10 years. And fast bowler, whereas he really is a phenomenal, inspirational leader. And that would be a huge loss for Australia. But what I will say was, I mean, when Glenn McGrath got injured in 2005, there wasn't many of us, rushing over to make him see if he was all right.
He tripped over that ball.
It was positioned perfectly. So,
was that ball out for drinks last night?
Who put it there? Oh yeah, I was wondering did anybody ever keep the ball at auction?
No, they probably should have. But I tell you what, when he did fall over, I mean, there was 10 Englishmen and Kevin Peterson doing cartwheels about 50 yards away. It was priceless. But look, on a serious note, I would like to see Pat Cummins play, because I think it'll be a great series with him in it. But if England want to win the Ashes, they need an elemental look. A lot of their players playing to their high potential, and an elemental look. And this might be the biggest bit of luck if Pat Cummins misses not only one test match, but if he misses the series, because he's been massive for them. Captaincy, not so much, because I think Steve Smith, will do a good job as captain. The opening bowler, setting the tone, I think it'll be a massive loss for Australia.